The ideal investment is one that has a long growth runway. And even if you were to pay an expensive looking price, if you are right on the runway and the growth rate and the length of time that this business can grow and compound, Walmart would have been a great investment at 50 times earnings in the 70s, even 100 times earnings in the 70s, because just the runway was so long. And you would have still had double-digit returns paying a very high multiple for a business like Walmart when it was really growing a lot. Of course, the difficulty is that it's very hard to look deep into the future, like we saw with the Apple example. How can we know in 1975 what Walmart looks like in 2000, for example? Those are really tough questions. So the way we kind of hack that is we demand a large margin of safety. So we say, okay, yeah, we know that this thing could go on for a long time, but if it only goes on for 10 years, I still don't lose money. And so that's how you kind of hack around it. But the number one thing to look for is great growing businesses. That's really the holy grail. Even the business I invested in Turkey, the warehouse operator at less than 4% of liquidation value, what I'm most excited about that business is that when they reinvest capital in dollars or euros, they are not willing to do it at below a 25 to 35% return. So their reinvestment, and I've seen it from the beginning. I looked at all the things they do. These guys don't do dumb things. If they can't get their money back, and the father, son that run it, the father never went to college. He just says, if I can't get my money back in 3 years, I'm not interested. I prefer getting it back in 1 year and maybe 2 years, but 3 years is the outer limit. And they made an investment. They put solar panels on all their rooftops. And it was 50 million of investment with 10 million a year coming back as what they were getting back in terms of the energy produced. So I questioned them. I said,
it's 5 years.
I said, you disappoint me. What went on here? They said, we really struggled with this. But they said, we knew it was 5 years, but we also know that those rates are going up quite a bit because Turkey has no energy source. They import everything. So they said this was on the edge and it really kind of hemmed and hawed. We hemmed and hawed about it. But we finally went for it. Actually, it's a great thing because that business that they spent 50 million on, they could sell it for 200 million today because it's the solar panels that were deployed 35, 40 years ago are still producing power. The ones that are being deployed today, which are much more advanced than the ones 35 years ago, they may be around 60 or 70 years from now. So that runway is incredible. And so I told them, I'm glad you lowered your bar a little bit and got that done because that was a good deal. And they said it was just right on the edge, but we're okay.